Hello UCCC families, this is Miss Jessica. I'm excited to share with you a recipe for Tasty Tuesday in celebration of Week of the Young Child. What I'm going to share with you today is called baked oatmeal. We love this recipe in our house for a lot of reasons. One is I can make it the night before, and then in the morning when we're eating breakfast, we just have to heat it up. It makes a great snack. It's kind of like it comes in a bar form basically, so you can just scoop it out and eat it kind of as is, or if you prefer your oatmeal a little bit creamier, you can add some milk to it, stir it up, and then eat it that way. So there's lots of different ways to utilize this. So I'm going to show you how to make some baked oatmeal. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to preheat your oven to 375. So my oven is in the process of preheating. And then you're going to get some sort of baking dish that's about 2 to 2.5 quart baking dish. If you have like a 8x8 square one, you can use that. I have this kind of small rectangle one that I like to use. And then you're going to make sure that you put some butter on it, or some, cooking spray, something to kind of help it not stick. So that's the first thing you're going to do. And then we're going to start with 2 1/4 cups of rolled oats. So I've already got my oats in here. And to add to that, we're going to add 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. We like lots of cinnamon in my family, so I do 2 teaspoons, but on the kind of heavy side, because we like this nice and cinnamony. And then we're going to add a teaspoon of baking powder. So just 1 teaspoon of that. Put it in there. And then we need a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So just regular old salt, whatever you got on hand is fine. Oh, there, my oven's ready. So a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And then I'm going to give that a little stir. You can also add a little bit of sugar. We tend not to add sugar because with all the cinnamon, and we're going to put applesauce in it in a minute, it doesn't really need it, but you're welcome to add a couple of tablespoons of sugar if you like your oatmeal a little bit more on the sweet side. You're also welcome to add other spices like nutmeg or cardamom if those are things that you like to typically have in your oatmeal. So then now we've got our dry ingredients. We're going to do our wet ingredients. So I have 2 cups of milk. If you don't do regular milk, you could do almond milk would be fine in this. I don't know about soy milk, but I know almond milk would be fine. So 2 cups of milk. To that, we are going to add, oh no, this is a new can of applesauce. Oh, there we go. We're going to add a 1/2 cup of applesauce. I'm just going to pour a little bit in here till we get to about a 1/2 cup. Okay. And again, I use unsweetened applesauce, but you can use whatever applesauce you have is fine. So a 1/2 cup of that. And then 2 teaspoons of vanilla. This is totally optional. If you don't have vanilla, don't put it in. It's not going to impact it that much. But if you tend to like vanilla, it gives it a little bit of extra kind of depth to the flavor of it. I feel like I'm really on a cooking show. I'm saying things like depth of flavor. This is fun. Okay, so once we've got kind of that mixed up, we are going to pour it into our oats. Super simple. Give it a little stir. And then we're going to add fruit. So basically add like a 1.5 cups of fruit, of whatever, any fruit that you would like. I usually just do apples because they're easy. They're usually readily available. So I just have a bunch of chopped apples here. I've got probably about 1 cup to 1.5 cups worth of apples that I'm going to throw in here. Again, this recipe is so simple and it's pretty easy, so you can kind of play with it a little bit. You could also do blueberries. We sometimes put in even frozen blueberries is good in here. Strawberries are pretty good in here. Pears would be great with the apples. So anything that you have on hand, anything that you guys really like to have for fruit is good in here. So like I said, I just poured in about 1.5 cups of apples in. So now that we have everything mixed together in our bowl, beautiful, we are just going to pour it into the prepared pan. If you eat nuts in your oatmeal, you could add like a 1/2 cup of chopped walnuts to the top of this. Just kind of, once you get this into the pan, you could just put half a cup of walnuts on top and kind of push them down into it. So you can see I've got it in my pan now. And now we're just going to throw it in the oven. So again, it's at 375. It bakes for about 25 to 30 minutes. Once it's done, it'll start kind of bubbling around the edge and get a little kind of brown on the top. And then it'll be done. And like I said, this is great. You can just cut it into bars. You can have it just as like a little breakfast bar. So it's sort of portable. It's great as a snack. My kids like to eat this as a snack. Or if you prefer your oatmeal a little more creamy, you can just add some milk to it in the morning, heat it up a little bit, stir it around, and it's great. So I hope you enjoy. I'm gonna stick this in my oven, and I will post the recipe as well. Have a great day.